So, Michael, I finally found the ending of Saving Grace. It really is the final version of this chapter in my chronological order of the story. I finally figured it out, Michael. What is it, Grace? Well, I found my inspiration as I was unpacking this cottage. It was just a summary of everything that happened to me in the course of the last 9 years. And I finally figured out the ending of this series of things that had happened to me. Finding you was really the end game to the chapter, and how we found love again and again throughout the book. Like how Carolyn came back into the picture, and how it really almost revived our marriage in a way, because we didn't see it coming, as she's typing. And I don't know if I want to publish this part of it, but I feel like it's a part of the book. It's not something I want to publish. It's just a diary, how we renewed our vows and we shared this very special time together. Just like sharing a cup of coffee with you in the cottage, and how you purchased the cottage for me, and how things came full circle, how I rebound. And this marriage has been such an encouraging part of my journey, recovering from domestic violence. And I just summarized it in this chapter. It's almost like the end game. I'm thankful. And the end of the story is really how I came from a broken place to wholeness and healing. And that's only by the grace of God. That's what Saving Grace is really about. Makes sense? I think if you keep writing Grace, you're going to come to the realization that your name says it all. They were saving you the whole time. Your whole story, from the time you met Judge Quinn to the time you met Marissa and the agency that helped you move into the cottage, to the portraits you created in art therapy to recover from domestic violence. The journey itself, you don't want to lose sight of everything that you lived through. It wasn't our marriage that saved you. It's the people that you met along the way in the journey to help you reclaim your life. You're exactly right, Michael. It was the beginning footsteps that you took. It was the footwork you took, the beginning steps. Meeting me was the beginning of the end of that journey, though. It started a whole new chapter is what it did, Grace. Meeting me started a whole new life for you. The saving grace part was that you were saved from domestic violence. And we got to credit, you got to give credit to the people that took the initiative that helped you get through that. Judge Quinn and Judge McGillis played a significant role in that. I know it's hard for you to accept that there was a feeling, almost a defeated feeling. When you were in that marriage, you felt defeated. But you got the courage to leave. You got the courage to get in that car and drive 1,000 miles away from Pennsylvania to Missouri. That's quite courageous. It's a big step forward for you to have gotten the counseling you got, and secular or not, you got counseling, you got support, you went through the proper steps to get out. And then only years later, you went back to school and you became a peer specialist and you counseled people. You worked hard. Not to mention you ended up having children when you thought you couldn't have children. You ended up turning your life into a different story. Your story took a different turn, said Michael. So your story goes on. Your children are growing up now. You don't have to keep telling your story over and over again. You can live. You can live out the rest of your years of your life looking. You don't have to look back anymore. You can look forward. Yeah, you're right. This cottage is special. When you bought this cottage off of Joe Metzger, it's the place of solace, and it's a place where I can type and create and dream again and believe again. I can't tell you how many words this place has. Such a special place. Has a special meaning, Michael. Thankfully, it was on for sale, said Michael, So, are you going to leave the book as is? Saving Grace? Yeah. It's not for sale. I'll probably have it bound and maybe copied, but it's not for sale. It's not going to be something I'm going to publish. I'll just keep it as a keepsake. If I ever do consider publishing it, I'd have to rewrite it, and I don't think I want to do that. It's more of a close diary. Too many things in it that I'm not sure I want to share publicly. The one thing I do want to thank God that we've been able to do is share our story, only to an intimate group of people. Now, if we ever have the chance to go public and share our story, whether it be like speaking publicly, it'll be edited down to a lot of things that I wouldn't share in a book like this. I would be very selective on how much I would open up about, because it's just so private and personal. I want to keep some things private to myself. I just thank God that I went from poverty, from having nothing, to meeting Marissa, who helped open doors for me, to literally walking into this cottage that day, to bring in a truck full of furniture, and seeing you that day at the gas station and you pumping gas in my car. And I was so battered that day. And you helped me that day. Little did I know that you were my future husband. I had no idea what God's plan was for me. God had a plan for me. I mean, I knew who God was, but I knew I was in God's grace. You know, I knew God was with me the whole time. From the time I was being battered, I knew this wasn't God's plan for me at all. I just had a peace about myself that I was going to be okay. I cried the whole way. I just knew it was going to be okay. Michael says to Grace, Grace, you know, when I was going through the whole mental torment of witnessing my ex-wife sleeping with my partner, it was total torment for me. The idea that she was with somebody else, much less my partner, I wrestled and wrestled with it until I could no longer wrestle with the fact that she was with my partner. I didn't want to have anything to do, like I physically was ill. And it took a long time to unravel that whole matter. It took a lot of growth and change. It took a lot for me to uncover and unravel the whole experience. You were the first woman I ever reached out to that way. You were the only woman I could probably ever love in the way that I don't know if I could express my love the way I express my love, the way I love you. I love you the way a husband should love a wife. I didn't even know if I could ever love her the way I love you. Don't get me wrong, I loved her as a wife, but not close, nothing close to how I love you. She wasn't nothing close to what I have with you. She was cheating and lying behind my back the whole time, as far as I was concerned. And what really pains me the most is that I don't know how long it was going on. For all I know, she was cheating and lying for years. It's just because I caught her in the act. She could have been doing it for years, and I just found out when I found out. So the best revenge in life is sometimes winning. And I feel like I won when I met you. You were the best thing in this whole situation for me. The greatest courage I had is taking my card and handing it to you. It was the best moment of my life. See, here's my card. Let's go out to lunch sometime. That was the best moment. I can't even put the words. As Michael and Grace kiss. It was the best kiss they ever had together. It was so warm and so tender. I love you so much, Michael. I love you too so much, Grace. There are moments like this I could treasure forever. As they sat in the front porch of the cottage, I could hold you forever. You're the best thing that ever happened to me. I can't imagine life without you, ever. We got every day together. That's what's so wonderful. I can only imagine what the future holds for both of us. Every day is a treasure with you. I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you, Michael, said Grace. I never thought I'd ever be so blessed to be a wife, to be a mother, to be a daughter, to experience this love, everything that you give me, all the joy in my heart. It's so amazing. Michael says to Grace, to be a man and a husband to children that are so good and so nurtured. It's a warm feeling, Grace, to be in your arms, to know that you don't cheat on me, that you're not out to hurt me, but you're out to do good for me. It's right out of the Bible, that you're only to do good for me. It's so true. I thank God for the years that we have shared already. I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you. As they take their 2 glasses of water and cling them together, they drink their water. He says, by the way, is this Arkansas water? Yeah. Yeah, said Grace. It is. So Grace is laughing. I was going to hope so, said Michael. It's so sweet to be with you. You mean so much to me, Grace. It means so much to me to be at this cottage. Remember when we would sit in the porch and look out in the sky and just sky watch? Yeah. Be perfect just to sit here and stare into the stars right now. Yeah, it's about that time of night. It's a good thing we have babysitters right now. We could just sit and stare at the sky. It's perfect. As they sky watched and looked at the stars. It's a perfect night. Clear skies, too, said Grace. I don't want this night to end. I just want us to sit here and just gaze into the stars, into the heavens. God created the stars for us to gaze into them. They're so beautiful. I love you so much. I can't wait to go home and kiss our kids goodnight and see them sleep sweetly at night. We can, honey. We can do that and more. All your promises and all those broken dreams are all gone. You can live knowing you have a future hope. Yeah, and you know the best promise we have is the future hope that Jesus is coming soon. Yes, indeed. Amen.